Hey everyone, sorry for that brief little delay, but yeah, sorry about that. Last minute setup, but welcome. Oh, I should be more professional in terms of getting ready for these things. Anyway, welcome everyone. I'm Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson. If you're watching this on either YouTube or Twitch, just want to make sure the mic's out of frame. Welcome to my watch party for Guardians of the Galaxy. The other 2014 Marvel movie that pretty much changed the franchise forever. The sense that Winter Soldier proved that, in the sense that Captain America Winter Soldier proved that the MCU can survive without Iron Man. This movie proved that Marvel could really do anything. Like if they, because with Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor, they were second tier characters, but at least people knew them at least by name and look. Nobody in the mainstream knew about the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like the pure comic book fans knew about these characters. And probably the most exposure they ever got was Rocket Raccoon in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but that was about it. So, got some people in the chat right now. Let's see what we got. Gaming Dry Bones, Spiders Prime, Razorbike, Turner Jenkins, William Clark. I'm doing well. Good to see you guys there. I also want to give a special shout out. I don't know if this person is watching right now, but on Twitch, I want to give a special shout out to Hollenbeck 1976, who followed me on Twitch just yesterday. And with that, I have 31 followers. Only 19 more to go until affiliate status. But if you're watching me on YouTube and you're not following me on Twitch, that is twitch.tv/real Mr. Robinson. The link in the description should work. I tested it out earlier today. If you're watching me on Twitch, but you do not subscribe to me on YouTube, that is youtube.com/the real Mr. Robinson. The link to my YouTube channel should be on my Twitch profile page. I think in the About section. So if you go there, you should be good. And if you really like what I'm doing on either YouTube or Twitch, you want to help support financially, that is you can go to patreon.com/real Mr. Robinson. Both of which are in the description. My Patreon link is in the description of each site you're watching this from. And if you cannot help support financially, then that's completely fine. Following me on Twitch and subscribing to me on YouTube is definitely good enough. And with that being said, I think we're just going to hop right into this movie. I should mention something else. As a reminder, since we are doing this series in chronological order, Thursday is not going to be Avengers Age of Ultron. It's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, because the two Guardians of the Galaxy movie take place really close to each other. And I think for everyone's sake, I don't think many people are willing to revisit Avengers Age of Ultron that soon. I mean, WandaVision might help, but considering what we know about Joss Whedon now, I don't think that really helps in itself. So, yeah, Age of Ultron will be next Tuesday, not this Thursday. This Thursday will be reserved for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And with that being said, I think we are good to go. And I'm going to push the play button and start the timer right now. Earth, 1988. It's such a weird opening. not in the sense that it's weird itself, but in the sense that this is Marvel's first full blown comedy. I'd say more than the Avengers, but it starts out on such a sad note. 1988. This would have been. I don't know if Transformers was still like as big as it was in the mid '80s, but that would be funny if like it just transformed into that Walkman transformed into Soundwave. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the same actress who during the Star Spangled Man montage sequence in Captain America: The First Avenger, that actress is the same woman that walked up to Cap and said, "Hi." Which I'm sure your daddy's not a terrible scumbag human being. Well, actually, he's not one of those things. Huh? And it's not the terrible scumbag part. Yeah, really, such a heavy note to start this movie on. Wait, hold up. Okay, there. I'm sorry. I'm maybe not to call you out, gaming dry bones, but there's a difference between like saying this movie's overrated because that's your opinion, but then to call the songs in this movie not great, like that's no, that's something I cannot get behind either. And then later this summer in What If, we'll be seeing uh, little T'Challa being sucked up into that spaceship. Man, what if is man, what if is going to be nuts? Like just to see the kind of weird shenanigans they come up with. Yeah, 1988. Yeah, this is 2014. Oh yeah, because in Avengers Endgame they say Morag 2014. Oh, yeah, the last Marvel movie to have opening credits was Iron Man 2. Who'd ever, with Karen Gillan, who'd ever known that Nebula would go from a side villain in this movie to one of the more interesting and yet, dare I say, would I say tragic? I I guess so, but I basically what I'm trying to say is I didn't expect Nebula to last as long as she did in the MCU. Like to be a vital character in Endgame. Laura Haddock, that's the actress that played Quill's mother and also the woman who has the hots for Cap. somewhere off in the distance, Rhodey and Nebula from 2023 are waiting to jump on Quill. Ugly little monsters, are they? So he's an idiot. Yeah. I mean, Endgame didn't ruin this moment because really, it's like when you see somebody with their headphones on dancing to music, from the outside, they look like a fool because we can't hear the music. There's Djimon Hounsou, we last saw in Captain Marvel. I forget his character's name, though. But yeah, it is weird to see him go from Captain Marvel to this, if you watch this series in chronological order. Swisher 35, welcome. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good this day. I like that moment. Like that, the first trailer that came out of this movie was pretty meta, I gotta say. Like how he talked about how nobody in the mainstream, outside of hardcore comic fans, know the Guardians of the Galaxy. I like how the first trailer played on that idea of, yeah, not a lot, not a lot of people know these characters, so we're gonna kind of use this first trailer as an introduction. Epic slow motion. Such unlucky timing. Out. There's something I never got. Not just here, but this goes back to Star Wars as well. If ships are in, like, if ships that size are in an atmosphere, do they just not have the anti-gravity thing set up to avoid just flying around if the ship loses control or does turns? Just the look on her face. There's an Alf sticker. The Kree. The ultimate douchebags of the MCU. Where you at? Where you are at now, boy? I'll give you this, Gaming Dry Bones. I do prefer Volume 2 over this one. But I still think this movie's pretty good. Man, I can't wait to see Michael Rooker in the Suicide Squad. The Dark Aster. Yeah, this is another reason why I think Volume 2 is a better movie. Ronan is just such a lame villain. Like, from what I gathered with from what I can gather with Ronan, now that we like have a chronological understanding, that's a lot of blood. Um, is that it just seems petty that the Kree made peace with the Nova Corps, and that he can't do his like scroll hunting anymore. Like, it seems like, if for me it just seems like he's petty, so he broke away from the Kree Empire and made a deal with Thanos. Yeah, I'd say Ronan's in the top three of worst MCU villains. Malekith is the worst still, because his plan just makes no goddamn sense. And Ivan Vanko in Iron Man 2 is just petty and pathetic. More than Ronan, I think. That baby now is definitely much older. Like, he's still a kid, but I wonder what that kid thinks of that moment right now. Like, being called a little gargoyle as a baby by a talking raccoon. I think it's hilarious that they really could have gotten anybody to voice Groot, but they decided to get Vin Diesel, especially since this was at the point, this was between Fast and Furious 6 and Furious 7. And his career had a jump start because of those later movies. Just checking on what you guys are. Then I mean, so okay. Gaming Drybones asks, "What's the point of Thanos?" I mean, this is the movie where we first get into the cosmic realm of the MCU, and since Gamora and Nebula are the adoptive daughters of Thanos, working with, or later, or in Gamora's case, against Ronan, I think it makes sense to at least acknowledge Thanos a bit. And also to give us our first taste of Josh Brolin in the role, because we wouldn't see Thanos really in action until 4 years after this movie. And plus, like, Thanos' scene is, like, the dialogue that he has in that scene is very meta in terms of how I feel about Ronan. But we'll get to that point when we get to it. Also, it's weird that they got Bradley Cooper for Rocket, because honestly, I can't tell that it's him. Because we all know that Sean Gunn did the motion capture work for, was basically not motion capture, but he was the stand-in for Rocket on set. And then Bradley Cooper voiced him in post. So yeah, it's so weird that, because I would never have guessed in a million years that this was Bradley Cooper, and unless seeing the credits. And there's another, again, like Kevin Feige said, there's another Empire Strikes Back reference where somebody gets their arm chopped off. So does that mean there are going to be 2 additional Groots growing from those arms? I like how I know this is worlds away in the MCU, but I love how WandaVision, the director of the director of Sword asks if Wanda has some sort of code name, and they're just like, nope, nope, nothing. Lady, we tried to wipe out an entire race of Skrulls because we are racist against them. Why would we offer a statement on that? So I just want to know how a raccoon got all the way out to space. You know, I think it's funnier in the trailer when I think it's funnier in the trailer when they intentionally blur it out, but that's just me. It's funny how he takes offense to being called a raccoon, but when Thor incorrectly labels him as a rabbit, he's fine with it. Yeah, but Ronan's not the genocidal maniac we were talking about. That alien's got some big eyes. Screw you! Do I act like I care? Oh yeah, the shot that made everyone realize, oh, he's no longer Andy from Parks and Rec. Again, that Marvel workout routine works wonders. Yeah, what's Groot gonna do with that? Okay, so how many of them actually lost their family to Thanos? Because, yeah, we like Ronan just comes across as petty, and I believe more that Thanos was the genocidal maniac. Now, is that supposed to be Nathan Fillion? Because I know I heard, if I'm correct, Nathan Fillion had a very small role in this movie, and I thought that alien might have been him. Oh, by the way, that was a. By the way, for those of you that didn't catch that, that was a prison sex joke. There's the literal one. I mean that quite literally. Jeez, these Nova Corps officers don't give a shit about what happens here. It's a. I was about to say Thanos, but I like Adrian Toomes in Spider-Man: Homecoming. Arthur Douglas. That's his. That's his actual name. Drax is. Huh. You don't care. Oh yeah, in Volume 2 and the Avengers, mostly Infinity War because uh, Drax doesn't do a whole lot in Endgame. Um, they kind of dropped the whole notion of him, his species taking everything literal. So funny how okay, the fact that we know that her buyer is the collector. Um, and it's kind of funny how the collector's willing to buy the Power Stone from the Guardians, but the Asgardians just give him the ether. Yeah, you don't backtalk the Mad Titan. Yeah, exact. Like what Thanos said right there. Your demeanor is that of a pouty child. That's my whole viewpoint of Ronan in the MCU. Yeah, Nebula knows. I'd say it's one scene, but I'd say it's a good taste for uh how threatening Thanos could be, at least in terms of his voice. Jeez. I like how this is one take. Oops. Groot, help. Yeah, this sequence wouldn't be as fun if they had gotten that last. So, is Groot, by the time we get to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which supposedly, I think they said it's coming out in 2023, because I know the holiday special is going to be released the holiday prior to the third movie. Is Groot finally going to be back to being an adult Groot in that movie? I can't imagine he'd stay an adolescent forever, especially considering that he was already, like, he was teenage Groot in the Avengers films. So there'd be no need for him to stay that way. Creepy little beast. It was kind of weird how no, I forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind. It's like I'm not above just ripping your arm off. Amazing how Groot could just take a beating with all those bullets. Ah, crap. There's the thumbnail I used for this watch party. If you're watching this on YouTube, that probably makes more sense. And that dude's probably dead. Jeez. Yeah, good thing Winter Soldier's arm got saved. Like they're all look. Let's be fair. You say that Drax is such a moron. They're all kind of idiots, except maybe Gamora. Gamora's probably I guess, the smartest. I mean, she's not tech whiz like Rocket is, but Rocket's, I don't know. Oh, dude, that dude just is laying down spit. Number 3. Maybe I should have started firing earlier. But yeah, that was how it should have ended joke. There's one bummer to this entire sequence is that there's no action scene in this movie that eventually tops this. Like, it's the big problem with I don't know if I'd say it's a big problem, but it was one of the main problems with the first Iron Man, the first Thor, is that, like, the earliest action scene in the movie is the best, and then nothing else even comes close to it. It's Star Tours! Except it's Guardians of the Galaxy. By the way, one of my favorite, what I really love in Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout is whenever there's a ride where you're brought into like a film world or just like where there's like a big storyline like The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. I love how all these rides are like, thank you for helping us out, see you next time, or take care. And then in Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, they do the same thing where they thank the riders. And then Drax says, why are we thanking them? They didn't do anything. Like, that's one of my favorite little jokes in Mission Breakout. Yeah, for a bunch of guards that don't care about like the inmates getting killed, Quill's sure generous enough to just stun them all. Nope. I desperately want to sing along to these songs, but that wouldn't sit well with YouTube's copyright policies, which I think is stupid. I'm sorry, that's a funny looking shot with the floating hair and just the look of the mask. Who's Moondragon? Like, I'm not outside of what the movies have shown us and uh, what I saw in Earth's Mightiest Heroes cartoon. I'm not too familiar with Guardians of the Galaxy. So I wonder the line where he says "my ship." I'm wondering how much of how big a role the Guardians actually have in Thor: Love and Thunder, because last we saw them, Thor and Quill was having doubts about whether or not Thor would obey his um, authority as captain. Ew. That's yeah, that's disgusting. Now, is that can't be a Kree ship? Like the Black Ether has to be a ship. Like everything Ronan has to be loaned from Thanos, because Thanos' ship looks very. There are parts of Thanos' ship that look very similar to the Black Ether. Hope we see Moondragon Guardians 3, then Drax will be shocked for comic relief, because in the comics she is Drax's daughter that didn't get killed by Thanos. Oh, okay. But wait, his daughter's dead in this universe. Oh, there's a dark elf. Jesus. It's a shame that we never got to see Benicio del Toro's Collector and Jeff Goldblum's Grandmaster interact. Going back to theme parks, the only interaction we ever got of them was a painting of them playing checkers or chess or something. Whistling's not that hard. I will say, it definitely takes a lot of practice. So. Like the best advice I can give is try wetting your lips. Oh yeah, isn't that a the giant head of the Celestial? Isn't that a nod to the Eternals? Aren't there hints to the Eternals in this movie, even though this came out long, long before they'd even announce them? Groot looks so upset by that. Yeah, this movie definitely looks. I know this and the sequel have different DPs, but this one definitely looks a lot darker than Volume 2. I have not seen the Naked Gun movies. against my own will. I feel like that's more of a Drax line than a Gamora line. But then again, I guess Gamora wouldn't be used to phrases like that. I really love, like, throughout the course of this movie, the sequel, and Infinity War, I really love what they do with Gamora in terms of how she gets closer to Peter Quill. So it makes me, like, really curious what they're going to do with Gamora, since this Gamora is dead. Like, not blipped, as Darcy would say, dead. And the Gamora that we have now is from another timeline. So I'm curious to see what they do in Volume 3 with her. Or a holiday special if she shows up there. Yeah, when you're drunk, you really, like a lot of, like, harsh secrets come out of being drunk. Beef jerky. That's it. That's it. Okay, it's fine. Beef jerky's fine. I feel I don't have any strong opinions about it either way. There's Cosmo, and there's a Chitari soldier. Oh, look, right there in the distance, you can see Howard the Duck. But now it's all out of focus, so that was one of those blink and you'll miss it moments. Okay, who was it that said that? DeQuan Tate about the beef jerky question. One of my favorite, like, one of the weirdest things to come out of this movie was when the movie was being promoted with Thor the Dark World and Captain America the Winter Soldier at Comic-Con 2013, which was my first Comic-Con, actually. Didn't go to Hall H, but I did go to Comic-Con that year for the first time. But anyway, when the Guardians cast was, like, on the press carpet taking interviews, one of the questions that Karen Gillan and Lee Pace got, you could probably find it on YouTube somewhere, was, boom! Everything blows up. One of the questions that Karen Gillan and Lee Pace got was what did you have for lunch today? Like it didn't have anything to do with the movie. It didn't have anything to do about working with Marvel. It was just like the most out of nowhere question. Uh, and I love how they just go along with it with answering it. Oh, yeah, we've seen that one already. And again, are there more? Are these more nods to? Are there more nods to the Eternals in that sequence? Beautiful. I think Howard the Duck has a strong chance. I'd be shocked if Howard the Duck was not in either the holiday special or Volume 3 in a larger role. And he got knocked out. Epic slow motion. Again, just I mean, he didn't say it and the sparks censored the word, but again, another MCU character this close to saying fuck. I love that line. Yeah, like other heroes would like, let's say, why would you want to save the galaxy? Because that's what heroes do, or it's the right thing to do, or whatnot. And Quill's like, because I'm one of the idiots who lives in it. And Groot is just so nonchalant about the whole situation. Boy, you get back here, boy. I'm checking my YouTube stream again via the Switch. It looks like we're good so far. Oh, Turner Jenkins, sorry you have to go, but you have a good night. Hopefully you get back here for Volume 2. Wait, Michael Rooker was in a Transformers movie? There's just a little light bulb, metaphorical light bulb that goes above Rocket's head. Badass raccoon. It's still to this day. It says right there. Michael Rooker makes a good impactor in a future Transformers movie. And it says your name right there, Spider's Prime. Well, 3 out of 5 ain't too bad. Ooh. So that would mean. Okay, so let's see. There's out of all our siblings, I hated you the least. Gamora, Nebula, and then it's just the Black Order, isn't it? Ebony Maw, Black Dwarf, Proxima Midnight, and I forget the other one. Oh yeah, here we go with that other. Once again, the fake out death in a MCU movie. This is the fifth time in the row they done it. The Avengers, Iron Man 3, Thor: Dark World, Captain America: Winter Soldier, and Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, granted, they wouldn't have us wait till the end of the movie or more than halfway through before we realize, oh, they're not dead. Obsidian. Thank you, William Clark. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. I gotta say, I love the look of Star Lord's helmet, but I don't like the whole like nanotech thing. like for for the helmet here, I get because it's outer space, so it's technology that's far advanced than Earth's. And then when with Wakanda and T'Challa's new suit, I get also because Wakandan technology. But once they made Tony Stark's armor in the last two Avengers movie be made in nanotech, I'm like, really? Does everything have to be nanotech? But maybe that's just me complaining about something that's this like inconsequential. Yeah, they didn't carry out the fake out death for too long, and I think by this point they kind of by this point they were like, okay, we're not gonna do this anymore in future movies. Like audiences are just getting too aware of this trend, especially considering that X-Men Days of Future Past did the same thing this year. This year, as in the year this movie came out. Yeah, about that. Sean Gunn, like he's like whenever he pops up in something, he's always so funny. Okay, stream's still going because I saw my viewership drop down to 5, so I wanted to make sure everything's good. Let me check good old Twitch. All right. Asshole. You're making me kick grab. Oh, it's beat up grass. Huh? Nah, that's funnier than kick grass. So, so the orb. What would have happened if Ronan brought like had just thought the orb? Would he have ever questioned what was inside the orb? He's like, yeah, you take it, boss. Thanos is not amused. Like, Thanos is just more like, yawn. Oh, hey, it's Kiadi-Mundi in the background. There was an alien with a giant head like Kiadi-Mundi in Star Wars. That dude right there on the left of Gamora, but her right. Huh? All right, so I got to admit this was my first real exposure to Michael Rooker. I knew he was on The Walking Dead, but I never saw him in anything until Guardians of the Galaxy. And that voice is not what I expected him to sound like. There's the Star Wars joke of this watch party, I guess. Considering how tiny the Milano is, I'm amazed. I'm surprised they were able to feel that. Remember, no plan is a good plan. Uh, yeah. Let's ask the year 2020 how that worked out. Again, there's that like 12. Again, for some reason in the Avengers, in this movie, and then in Age of Ultron, there's he says as Groot is eating a leaf off of his shoulder. Yeah, again, I don't know what the idea about the 12% thing was. Um, like again in Avengers, Tony Stark says that Pepper deserves 12% of the credit for Stark Tower. Here, Peter Quill has 12% of a plan ready. And in Age of Ultron, Pietro, I think, is 12 minutes older than Wanda. Um, Outside of Saldana and John C. Reilly, I never heard of the entire cast. I never heard of Parks and Rec until I saw it in 2020. It's a great show, and it's better than The Office, which is still great. So you never knew. You never. So in terms of Vin Diesel and Bradley Cooper, you never knew of. You never saw any Fast and Furious movies or Hangover. Insert the Lego Movie meme here. What Lego Movie meme? Yeah, they are all like certain they're gonna die. Rocket's mouth is just open. There's why am I blanking out on the name? The Runaways? Why am I blanking on the band name? Oh, Master Builder Speech. Gotcha. You dare punch me? Huh. Let me see. I have to. Yeah, the Runaways. Thank you, Razorbike. Huh. What a mugshot. Yeah, most of those Ravagers are now dead. Yeah, if these Ravagers weren't killed by if these Ravagers weren't killed during the Battle of Xandar, then they were certainly killed at the hands of Yondu, Rocket, and Groot in the next movie. Classy. Just a giant anthropomorphic raccoon adjusting its junk. Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, the first Hangover is great. I still think it's funny despite the sequels, and I'm so sorry that the first Fast and Furious movie you ever saw was Tokyo Drift, because I that was the first movie I ever saw in the franchise. Also, oh, shut up, Pete. Man, I gotta say, with Glenn Close, like they did her dirty in God, I can't even remember Hillbilly Elegy. Like she's trying. You could tell with Hillbilly Elegy, her and Amy Adams are trying the best that they can, but it just their dramatic performances come across as unintentionally funny. Yeah, you don't ever need to see any of the other Hangover sequels again. Um, and Fast and Furious is a bit of a. I don't know how to recommend Fast and Furious. Like, like I feel like with the first, like with the first and fourth Fast and Furious movie, you really have to be like they're very underwhelming by the recent movies. Not to say that they're bad, because I actually think the first and fourth movie are actually pretty decent. But for me, the series started to pick up more once Dwayne Johnson entered the fray. I really like 5, 6, and 7 for being just really stupid and over the top. Fast and Furious 8 is almost unwatchable, except for any scene with Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, because they seem to get the tone of that franchise, unlike Vin Diesel and the rest of the cast who feel like they're treating it as Shakespeare, especially with Vin Diesel. And that's honestly why I like Hobbs and Shaw more than most people. Like, I acknowledge that Hobbs and Shaw is not a good movie, but it it's that kind of over the top stupid blockbuster that knows it's stupid and just says, "Hey, screw it, we're gonna have a good time." And in that sense, I can kind of get on board with that. But again, I recognize Hobbs and Shaw is not a good movie. Unlike this, that like that actor, I when I first saw this movie, I tried to think, wait, where have I seen him? Because he looks so familiar. And then Shaun of the Dead, I was like, oh shit, it's Pete. 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 No, don't go out there because A, he might be one of them, and B, he might still be a little pissed off after last night. Pete. Oi, prick. He's not home. The worst thing you could do is treat a silly movie serious and vice versa. Yeah. I mean that's the great thing with with a lot of the Marvel movies. Like I feel like like they take them seriously enough to where it's not like super ultra serious, but still recognize like there's some goofy concepts, and we're gonna acknowledge it and have fun with it. Why do you think this movie is a comedy? Because because nobody would really like. It's a miracle that people are strongly invested in a talking tree and a talking raccoon now, but I like how this movie doesn't. The Guardians of the Galaxy films don't take it too seriously. To the point where it kind of turns people off. Like, what, man, you guys are being too serious. Lighten up. Which makes me really concerned that Zack Snyder put Granny Goodness in his extended cut of Justice League. And given how his last two movies were, he expects us to take Granny Goodness as seriously as possible. And like, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. But I seriously doubt that people will buy that in a serious manner. Yeah, like right there. Okay, so we only have 5 people watching. 2 on YouTube. Two on Twitch, 3 on YouTube. At least that's what Streamlabs is telling me. We could try to rate a channel after this if more people show up. But if not, then we'll hopefully we'll see what happens with Volume 2 if more people show up for that. Quiet, you! You don't want to do this, boy. I forget what are these aliens called again? Because some of these aliens have straight up Jason Voorhees machetes. Oh, that's a little... I don't know, the CG on Nebula repairing herself is a little iffy. After watching his Watchmen and remembering back to Sucker Punch, I just never could get into Snyder's style, being so serious without a bit of lightness. Yeah, that's kind of concerning. That's what's concerning about him. I don't know. It just makes I don't have any hopes at all that Justice League is going to be good, especially since he's asking us to watch 4 goddamn hours of it. But I don't know why I'm willing to give it a chance still, but I don't know, maybe in 4 hours time. Maybe in 4 hours' time, it might be a more coherent story. Who knows? I'm trying to give it benefit of the doubt. But, yeah, like that statement he made where there won't be as many... where his version of Justice League will be light on jokes. Film Brain tweeted saying, intentional jokes at least, because yeah, because there's in Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, there's definitely a lot of unintentionally funny moments, like whether it's Pa Kent dying in a tornado, Martha. Um, yeah, I haven't. I'm gonna rewatch Watchmen later this week, but I saw a clip of it where there's a funeral scene, and they play "Hello, Darkness, My Old Friend." I'm like, yeah, that doesn't work anymore because A, it's too on the nose, and B, it's now a meme whenever somebody's just sitting there in disappointment. I mean, I'm starting to come around to enjoying Batman vs Superman Ultimate Edition, so I'll probably be watching Justice League, and I've always enjoyed Man of Steel. See, I'm willing to give Man of Steel another shot because it's been 8 years since I last saw this movie, and it is one of those things where it's like I want to either love this movie or I want to hate this movie. Like it's just so frustrating that I'm in the middle of like my opinions on Man of Steel are just so in the middle. Again, I'm willing to give Man of Steel another shot and see how it holds up. But with Batman vs Superman, I'm in the minority that thinks that the Ultimate Cut is worse. So Batman vs Superman is just an atrocious train wreck. That the only thing that saves it, and I've talked about this before on my worst of the decade list, but the only thing that keeps it from being the worst comic book movie of the last decade was that Fantastic Four exists. Oh, they're dead. Pete, no! I know his name's not Pete, but that's how I remember him. Oh yeah, there was like we could have seen some of those modifications to that Thanos made to Gamora when she's being electrocuted, right? Yeah, she'll be back. That's not the last we've seen of Nebula. Boom. Yeah, we didn't see him block that. So he should have been obliterated. Oh hell. Man, I love those two guys in the on the sides of the ship. They're just like there's a big explosion going on. There's firefights going around all over the place, and they're just like, woo, woo. They're trying to keep the ship in orbit. And now they're dead. You know, Ronan might be a terrible villain, but you got to give him the fact that he survived a rocket. He survived a Ravager ship crashing into him, so he's pretty durable. All right, how's the? Okay, so I got 3 people watching on Twitch. That's fine. I think, 7 people in total. I think we might be able to do a Twitch raid after this is done. So yeah, if you guys stick around, obviously there are 2 end credits here, so we want to stick around for them. But for those of you who are on YouTube, once we get through the credits, make sure you hop on to twitch.tv and we'll raid a channel. Oh yeah, crazy that that Vin Diesel. It's like, here's the thing. I think Vin Diesel actually has a lot of charisma, and despite how I feel about him in the Fast and Furious movies now, um, Vin Diesel always seems like a cool guy, and I think whenever he is in roles that don't require him to be the alpha male tough guy, he actually has a lot of charm and charisma. But I think it's funny that his most like tear-jerking roles are ones where he's voicing where he's just voicing characters and has just small lines of dialogue. Like here comes this moment. Yeah, just 3 words before he dies. You stay, I go, no following. Favorite song in this movie? Probably had to be it's funny. Oh yeah, William Clark, Superman. Like, oh, that line. Okay, who said that? DeQuantate. It's funny you asked that question because I think it might be Ooh Child. I don't know why. It's a tie between Ooh Child and Ain't No Mountain High Enough. I mean, all the songs in the soundtrack are good. Yeah, Come and Get Your Love and Cherry Bomb are good as well. What? What? What did you say? Me and you. Man, what an embarrassing way to go out. You get distracted by this idiot dancing to Ooh Child. And then this happens. Yeah, that hammer just shattered. Dude, that facial expression, it's like, dude, get some toothpaste or brush your teeth for once. Amazing that the radius of the Power Stone just stayed in that one section. This, this part, that low moment and the letter at the end probably hit me more than We Are Groot, if I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. Do I think Ronan should have been the villain in Captain Marvel? Um, in terms of being the main villain, hold on. He blew up real good. Excuse me. In terms of being the main villain, uh, no, because I feel like Yonrog, um, like him being the villain actually makes more sense because it's more personal for Carol. But I do agree that Ronan should have been in the movie more than he was. Because I feel like if he was in Captain Marvel a lot more, we would have gotten more context to why he is the way he is in Guardians of the Galaxy, or was since he's dead. Um, he should have been a bigger threat. I'll say that. Uh, he should have been a bigger threat, but I think Yonrog works better as a villain for Carol. Top three worst MCU villains. I said this earlier in the stream. I'll repeat it again. The bare bottom of the list is Malekith, just because we don't even know, like, we don't get that much info on him, and he's just kind of generic. And then after that is Ivan Vanko, because he's such a weak villain, and every time he talks about, like, you lose, Tony, you lose, or talking about how he has the upper hand, it's like, no, you're pathetic, and you're a petty villain. And then Ronan, Ronan's just uninteresting. Also, where's she during the events of this movie, Carol? Um, she's probably off on some other planet. Like, because obviously she didn't return to Earth until Thanos snapped away half the universe. So I would expect that she's just off and around space, um, doing taking care of some other problems. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they answer any of those questions in Captain Marvel 2, because we know that's set in the present day, because you got Monica Rambeau as an adult, um, and then you have Kamala Khan. Why am I forgetting her name? Yeah, you have Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. So it's obviously going to be in the present day. Um, but I do hope we get some sort of context on what Carol's been doing um, in between Captain Marvel and Endgame. Yeah, there's going to be a line for that. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, they have to go into the sequel has to go into what Carol's been doing in that time, because according to WandaVision, spoilers for those who haven't seen WandaVision, um, you know what? I won't say it, but there's something big that happens in WandaVision. Just in case those of you who are watching haven't seen it, I won't say what happens. um, okay, yeah, sorry, okay, I don't know if this is going to be controversial. Um, oh, William Clark says, does John C. Riley get enough credit as an actor? He can, from Ricky Bobby and Step Brother to Boogie Nights, Chicago, and Stan and Ollie. I don't know how controversial this is, but I actually like John C. Riley more than I do Will Ferrell. Okay, I hope that's what she's been calling him this whole time, because I'm sure that's the case, because it'd be a hell of a coincidence that he calls himself Star Lord and then he reads that letter for the first time, realizing that his mom called him that. But yeah, anyway, for WandaVision, there's something big that happens in WandaVision that revolves around Captain Marvel. Yeah, I like that little where Gamora's just moving a little bit to the beat. Again, it's very subtle. There are a lot of I feel like throughout the entire MCU, there's a lot of subtle character moments that I just don't think get a whole lot of credit. And that one might be a little too. Man, you're looking too deep into this, Alexander, and maybe so, but I don't know. I bought it. I like that little touch. Yeah, that's true. Ain't no mountain high enough, and Trouble Man. Marvel must have had something with Marvin Gaye. And there's little baby Groot. Does John C. Reilly ever come back? Well, in Infinity War, they established that that Thanos destroyed Xandar, or at least leveled the entire place to get the Power Stone. So it's hard to really tell if he survived that. So we'll see what happens. Guardians of the Galaxy will return. And there's little baby Groot dancing to the Jackson 5. Oh, by the way, in Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, um, this is the only song from the movies, from any of the movies, that appears in the ride. All right, that's Guardians of the Galaxy. I still think it's great. But again, I like Volume Two a lot more, and that's especially considering that when I first saw Volume Two, I didn't like it. But we'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume Two on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. Also, I want to just point something out right now. To anyone who's in Texas right now, I know you guys are going through a horrible winter storm, and I have friends and family that live in Texas. So, like with the cold, the power outages, some people have been without power for 2 days. I hope y'all are staying safe. I hope y'all keep warm. Um, I'm just so sorry y'all are going through this. Again, like I wish you all the best. So I just wanted to bring that up because I saw a couple of friends from Texas were tweeting about the situation going on there. But yeah, as for this, I want to once again thank you all for watching, tuning in. Make sure if you are on watching this on YouTube, but you do not follow me on Twitch, that is twitch.tv/Real Mr. Robinson. I stream every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I should point this out right now. After I've said this a couple times, after I finish the Marvel Cinematic Universe Infinity Saga, I'm going to jump right into um, I'm gonna jump right into the I'm not gonna jump right into the Star Wars saga, but I'll basically be taking a couple weeks off, and then I'll start doing watch parties for the Star Wars saga in May, which is appropriate because since that was the original like month surrounding Star Wars whenever a new movie came out. And somebody asked me on a previous stream, I don't know who it was or when it was, but somebody asked me what the situation is with Godzilla versus Kong in terms of doing a watch party for that. And I actually don't know what to do about that. I'd like to do one because I did all the Godzilla movies prior, so it wouldn't make sense if I just didn't do Godzilla versus Kong. I thought to wait until after the movie comes out on Blu-ray because I know a lot of people probably don't have HBO Max. But at the same time, I thought the sooner I jump on this, the better it would be. So I'm still working out details on how to do the Godzilla versus Kong watch party. But basically, someone asked me if I was going to be doing it. Yes, I will do it. When? I have no idea. Somebody says, Razorback said we had an EF3 tornado about 130 miles from where I live in North Carolina. We don't get those till May. Yikes. That is scary. All right, Razorback. Yeah, you have a good night. Stay safe. Yeah, I talked to the YouTube crowd. If you're watching this on Twitch, make sure you head to youtube.com/The Real Mr. Robinson. That is my main hub in terms of content, where you'll find movie reviews and other forms of videos. Tomorrow, I will be continuing my Disney animated review series with The Three Caballeros. And make sure you subscribe to the channel for more upcoming content. I saw Judas and the Black Messiah yesterday, and I should have a review for that up by this weekend, or before the week is done. So hopefully you check that out. And again, going back to the YouTube crowd, let's see if we could try to raid a channel. So if you're on YouTube right now, and you have a Twitch account, head over to twitch.tv/The Real Mr. Robinson, and we will attempt to raid a channel. Especially since we're just now in the credits. Got 3 people on Twitch watching. That's good. That's good. Anyway, if y'all like what I'm doing with either Twitch or YouTube, and you want to help support financially, you can go to patreon.com/The Real Mr. Robinson. I'm still working on individual episode reviews of WandaVision. I recorded the first 2 episode reviews, so those should be up soon. And I'm still working on everything else, trying to play catch up to get to episode 7, which drops this Friday. Only 2 people are watching on Twitch. If you can't support me financially, that's fine. Just subscribing to me on YouTube or following me on Twitch is definitely good enough. Yeah, I'd say this stream went well. And now we're getting to the end credits scene. Yeah, there's Cosmo again. I love that Howard the Duck just pops up. I love how Howard the Duck just pops up in the final battle in Endgame. Like, it's a very, very brief cameo, but no, he's there. He's there ready to kick some ass, even though we don't see him anywhere else. Let's see. 2 people are on Twitch. You know what? Let's hold off a raid until Thursday when we do Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Oh yeah, that's right. Tune in this Thursday for my watch party for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Again, since the 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movies take place roughly around the same time, we're just going to jump right into Volume 2 before we get into Avengers Age of Ultron. So thank you guys. Make sure you follow me on Twitch or subscribe to me on YouTube, or both. I would prefer you do both. And until next time, this is The Real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.